I am Jasril from the Customer Success Team at Consultare Inc. Group. Last week, we covered Disciplinary Action Program as outlined in SQF Code Clause 2.1.1.2-4 under Management Commitment. Today, we will be focusing on the Management Review Program, specifically SQF Code Clause 2.1.2, still under Management Commitment Requirements. This requirement ensures that the site conducts a structured and documented review of its SQF system by senior site management at least once a year to verify that the food safety management system remains effective, relevant, and capable of achieving the organization's food safety and quality objectives. Clause 2.1.2.1 requires senior site management to evaluate key areas such as updates to food safety documentation, culture performance, objectives, corrective and preventive actions, risk management, and follow up from previous reviews. This ensures that the system remains effective, continuously improved, and aligned with the site's operational goals and regulatory requirements. By understanding and implementing this requirement, the site ensures that senior management remains actively engaged in overseeing the SQF system, driving a culture of accountability, and fostering continuous improvement. This not only maintains certification readiness, but also reinforces a strong, sustainable food safety and quality management culture across the organization. By the way, this free training session is sponsored by Consultare Inc. Group, a compliance company. Founded in 2007, we began by assisting businesses with U.S. import and export compliance and have since evolved into a global provider of food safety, quality, and certification support. Today, our services revolve around compliance management software, specialized training, and end-to-end support services that help organizations achieve and maintain compliance with international standards. Through our platform, interlinkiq.com, we offer an integrated compliance management system that streamlines documentation, monitoring, and audit readiness. We also provide dedicated compliance and certification support programs for FSVP, PCQI, SQF, BRCGS, FSSC 22000, ISO 9001, GMP, and HACCP, helping businesses strengthen the regulatory compliance, enhance operational efficiency, and ensure alignment with global food safety and quality management standards. Now let's review our training schedule for the free SQF certification familiarization training. For this week, we will cover the management review program as part of the management responsibility requirements. So we will begin our session today to discuss the requirements of management review program under SQF 2.1.2, and we will proceed with a walkthrough of the compliance action activities performed on a regular schedule to maintain certification readiness. We will also discuss the annual review and internal audit activities, which help verify program effectiveness and drive continuous improvement. You're encouraged to ask questions in the chat box, which we'll address in the next week's session. Participants may also request a free 90-day trial of our SQF certification management software to help manage compliance tasks, assign accountability, and stay audit ready. And finally, all participants will receive a familiarization training certificate. So please ensure that you've completed the free certification familiarization training sign-up form shared in the chat. On the screen, you will see a sample of the familiarization certificate that you will receive upon completing each session. With that, let's move forward to our training session where we will be working directly with the SQF Compliance Management System software. So let's start by going over the description of the SQF 2.1.2 Management Review Program. Please take a look at the description on the screen. It says, to implement SQF 2.1.2.1, The SQF system shall be reviewed by senior site management at least annually and include first changes to food safety management system documentation, such as policies, procedures, specifications, or food safety plan, food safety culture performance, food safety objectives and performance measures, and corrective and preventive actions and trends in findings from internal and external audits, customer complaints, and verification and validation activities, and hazard and risk management system, as well as follow-up action items from previous management reviews. Records of all management reviews and updates shall be maintained. Now you may update or edit the description as needed to reflect revisions, especially when new SQF edition, such as the anticipated Edition 10, will be released. So to implement this program, we have created a list of action items in the compliance section or in the compliance tab. So since the review will be facilitated by the senior site management, this section will help senior site manager or the SQF practitioner to stay organized by scheduling tasks according to frequency, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or semi-annual activities. So here are some examples of your compliance action items or the tasks that you need to perform. For your daily activities, this may include monitoring and verifying CCP or CP records for accuracy and completeness, observe and lag food safety culture behaviors such as hygiene, PPE, or reporting of defects. Third, ensure any corrective actions from daily production or verification are recorded. And update document control system if minor changes occur, like SOPs, forms, or specs. Now, for your weekly activities, this include review customer complaints received during the week and track trends, follow up on open CAPAs to check progress or closure, confirm training attendance logs are updated for any food safety or GMP sessions, and spot check internal verifications like pre-op inspections, sanitation checks, or calibration. For the quarterly activities, this include conduct a CAPA trend analysis, whether it's internal audit findings, complaints, or deviations, review supplier performance, such as non-conformances or changes in raw material specs, summarize food safety culture activities like toolbox talks, survey status, or training refreshers, update food safety objectives performance scorecard and share with management, and verify whether new regulations, allergens, or hazards require risk assessment updates. Now, for the biannual activities, this might include conducting a mock internal audit or targeted verification to detect gaps, review policy and high-level FSMS documentation for updates like manual or major SOPs, and prepare a progress report for senior management and food safety objectives, and finally, assess effectiveness of food safety culture initiatives and recommend adjustments. So this serves as your checklist of the compliance activities that you need to perform. You can also add your own compliance action items, or we can preload all the required activities for you to perform. So to complete these activities, we provided corresponding work instructions and compliance activities for every action item. These also include the required artifacts or records to document completion. So for example, let's choose one action item. Um, we're going to discuss how to complete this specific action item, which states update document control system if minor changes occur, like SOPs, forms, or specs. Let's take a look at the work instruction on how to perform this. So first, you need to identify the need for document update. This includes reviewing operational changes, employee feedback, or audit findings to determine if minor updates are required in SOPs, forms, or specifications, like wording changes, updated contact details, or minor procedural clarifications. So for you to perform this, excuse me, you need to complete the change request form, meeting notes, audit finding report, or employee feedback log. Next step is to initiate document change request. So once you've identified the need for a change, you need to create and submit a formal document change request for approval prior to editing any control documents. So for you to do this, you need to complete the document change request form or email or memo request and change control log. Next is to update affected documents. So this can be done by revising the specific SOPs, forms, or specifications in accordance with the approved change request while ensuring formatting and document control standards are followed. So for this particular step, you need to complete the revise or you need to prepare the revised document draft, track change version, or document control checklist. Next step is to review and verify revised document. So you need to have the revised document reviewed by the relevant process owner or food safety team to ensure accuracy, compliance, and clarity. So the artifacts or records involved in this process is your review sign-off sheet, email approval, or revision control log. Next step is to assign new revision number and effective date. So following the QMS procedure, you need to update the document with a new revision number, effective date, and appropriate version control information. Next step is to replace obsolete versions. So this includes removing and archiving obsolete versions of the updated document from all points of use, whether it's physical or digital. You need to record it through the obsolete document log, removal confirmation sheet, or archive folder record. The next step is to communicate changes to affected personnel. So after the change is drafted and approved, you need to notify relevant employees, departments, or teams of the minor changes to ensure awareness and continued compliance. This can be done in a form of memo, communication memo, acknowledgement log, or updated training record. Then after that, you need to upload or file the revised documents in the control system. So this includes saving the approved updated document in the official document control system or shared drive with proper naming and access permissions. So for this to happen, you need to complete the document control system update log, upload confirmation, and access permission tracker. And then conduct spot verification post update. It involves verifying that the updated document is accessible at points of use and that no obsolete copies remain in circulation. So this includes spot check log, internal verification checklist, and photo evidence of compliance. And finally, you need to maintain document change records. So activity here is archiving all related change records and approvals in accordance with the site's document control procedure and retention policy. For the artifacts and records, this include change control file, master document register, and revision approval history. So this is how to complete this specific compliance action item. Now to demonstrate how to comply and how to change from no to yes, you need to upload supporting evidence of your artifacts, records, forms, or even images or photos. So for this same action item, compliance can be demonstrated by uploading a document change request form, which is one of the example of artifacts that you need to provide. So let's view the form. As you can see, the record demonstrates that The site follows a controlled and traceable process for updating documents. So in this case, the request came from Mary Jennings from the production department, and then she initiated the request to revise the product sampling procedure and its related record form after operators inline reported confusion regarding the timing of QA verification and noted an outdated form reference. So the change clarifies that QA verification must be performed at the time of the sampling and updates the document to reference the correct form. As you can see, the request underwent review and approval by the QA manager, department head, and the senior site management to ensure that the update would not affect product safety, quality, or compliance. Once approved, the revision documents were issued, obsolete versions were removed, and relevant staff trained on the changes. So this record confirms that document updates are managed in a systematic manner, ensuring alignment with the SQF document control and management review requirements. So this is only a sample document that can be used as evidence of compliance to complete the action items listed here. So when you perform and provide the supporting records, your compliance status will update from no to yes. So your goal is to perform all these compliance activities according to their scheduled frequency to ensure that your facility, processes, and your documentation remain fully audit ready. Once again, these are simply examples of compliance best practices that you can adapt in your facility. You may also customize or develop your own action items tailored to your specific processes. Now let's go over the annual review tab, which also serve as your gap assessment tool. So this is presented in a form of audit checklist questionnaire aligned with the SQF Code 2.1.2 Management Review Program. So to comply with this requirement, you need to complete the assessment questions here. So the questions include: has senior site management conducted a management review within the last 12 months? Were changes to food safety management system documentation, such as policies, procedures, specs, or food safety plan, reviewed and discussed? Was the site's food safety culture performance evaluated and documented? Were food safety objectives and performance measures reviewed against targets? Were corrective and preventive actions, or CAPA, reviewed for effectiveness? Were trends analyzed from internal audits, external audits, customer complaints, verification, and validation activities? Was the hazard and risk management system, or the HACCP or food safety plan, reviewed? Were follow-up action items from the previous management review discussed and updated? Were formal meeting minutes recorded for the management review? Were responsibilities, timelines, and follow-up actions clearly documented? Are all management review records controlled, accessible, and retained in the FSMS or QMS? Were food safety objectives and performance measures, or KPIs, reviewed against set targets? And are all management review records controlled, filed, and retrievable for audit? So then again, just like the compliance action item, we've provided work instruction for every assessment to guide the FSQA or the SQF practitioner on how to um, complete each assessment. So let's pick one question where follow-up action items from the previous management review discussed and updated. Let's take a look at the compliance activity or the work instruction involved in this assessment. So it involves retrieving and reviewing the previous management review. The specific activity is indicated here, like accessing the previous management review minutes and action tracker to identify that all assigned actions, responsible persons, and due dates, It also includes verifying the completion status of each action item and note any remain open or pending, and ensure supporting documentation is available for all completed items. So the sample artifacts or records that you need to complete are also listed here, from previous management review minutes down to supporting documentation for completed tasks. Next step is to evaluate progress and effectiveness of completed action items. So this involves assessing whether completed actions effectively address the issues or improvements identified during the previous management review. Verify closure evidence such as revised procedures, training completion, or performance improvements, and document evaluations and include results in the current review discussion. So the artifacts or records range from action closure verification form or lag to effectiveness review summary. Third step is to discuss and update the pending or ongoing action items. So during the current management review, discuss each open action item to determine new timelines, required resources, or reassignment of responsibilities. Update the action tracker with revised target dates and justifications for extensions, if applicable. Then ensure management approval and accountability are documented for all updates. Next step is to identify and record new action items arising from the current review. So this can be done by capturing new action items resulting from the current management review findings, performance evaluations, or trend analysis, and assigning responsible person or personnel and completion deadlines for each new test, as well as integrating new actions into the official CAPA or continuous improvement system to ensure follow-up tracking. And then you also need to verify documentation and communication of all action item updates. So this includes confirming that updates, closures, and new actions are documented in the controlled record keeping system. You also need to ensure that all relevant department heads are fully informed of changes to action plans or deadlines, and prepare a summary report of follow-up status to management approval and audit readiness. Now let's take a look at a sample management review follow-up action report. So this is um, an acceptable evidence of compliance to complete the assessment item that we've mentioned earlier. So the management review follow-up action report provides evidence that the site has reviewed and updated all follow-up items from the previous management review. So as you can see, the meeting, let's say, was conducted on October 24th and being attended by key personnel from each department. So for the summary of follow-up actions from previous review, the previous action items were highlighted here, like update the supplier approval procedure, install hand washing signage in the receiving and packing area, conduct refresher training, and review calibration frequency for metal detectors based on trending data. So this record demonstrates management's active involvement in monitoring progress, ensuring accountability, and maintaining continuous improvement within the food safety management system. You can also see here the status update in the current action. So there are 3 completed items and 1 in progress and scheduled for completion on October 30th. So this serves as a documented proof that follow-up actions from previous reviews were discussed, evaluated, and updated as part of the site's ongoing SQF compliance efforts.